My name's Ian Morris. I'm from a community group called Sustainable Thornton Heath, and we exist to try and increase the amount of sustainable living practices in the town. One of the key activities we do in the town are these hubs where I'm speaking from today, where we hold them every 2 months and where people can learn about sustainable living practices in a whole range of areas, from repairs to refills to learning new skills. The structural barriers that exist largely exist at a national level. It also doesn't help that we've not really got a very effective democracy in the country. So, for example, at the last election, if you counted, for example, the number of votes that, say, the Green Party got, and you translated that into how many MPs there should be around 80 MPs from the Green Party alone, and there's only one. And so that's a real problem from a democratic and structural perspective. Also, we face difficulties as an organisation because the amount of effort it takes to set up and to maintain an organisation like ours, which is a simple community organisation, is also quite significant. So we have to find volunteers, we have to kind of develop a constitution, decide on the structure, develop policies, find funding, raise funding, get public liability insurance, develop policies, risk assessments, all these things we have to do in our spare time. And so that's a real structural problem as well. So the structural changes that would help to remove some of those barriers, there are things at a national level which if we had a system of voting where it was proportional representation rather than the first past the post system we have now, that would help hugely. Also, if we had a government at a central level ideally, but also at a local level here in Croydon, where they were actually educating and informing the local population about the climate and ecological crisis and levelling with people about what it means for the coming years and further down the road in the future for our children or our children's children as well, that would also really help to get the message across. And at a local level, it would really help if we had a properly resourced local voluntary and community sector, starting with the umbrella body in Croydon, which is the Croydon Voluntary Action, but also in terms of community organisations as well. If we had some funding which was not so hard to find and access, if we had technical advice on structures and how you set up a constitution and policies, things like that. So there should be a lot of more proactivity from the council in that perspective. And also things like campaigns to help us to get more volunteers, because it's quite hard to get volunteers, particularly in areas like this where there's economic deprivation, people are very busy. So we need volunteers to be able to run these things. And the question should be also, should volunteers be relied on to run these kind of events, or should we also be paying people to support them as well?